Hey, this is JBugs and welcome to another episode of the Minecraft Bedrock Survival Guide. Today we're going to be looking to get some mending books. In episode 2 we built an AFK fish farm which can help you get mending, but at the same time it's much less predictable. Today we're going to be looking at how we can use villagers to convert wood into mending books. The first thing we're going to need to do is find a village. You'll want to make sure it's daytime when you go there, as if it's night the mobs will be out and they might attack the villagers. The house at the end of this village is going to be where we make the area for breeding and keeping our villagers. We'll clear out some space and then can place some beds down so a few more villagers can live here. Once that's done, we're going to make sure the villagers are safe. Any house with a workstation in will remove the workstation, and then once there's no villagers, we'll block off the door. Any house with a bed inside will leave the door accessible until there is one villager in there for every bed. We can then block off these doors too so that the villagers are nice and safe in there. I tend to find that once all the workstations are removed, and when it's a bit later in the day, if you ring the bell the villagers will head back to their home. Also, when it's later in the evening, villagers would head home to sleep too, but it will also be more dangerous at that time as zombies will be out. Zombies can break down the doors and attack your villagers if you're not careful, and this is why we're blocking up the doors. Back at our starter house, we do have a villager in a bed, but we'll need to get at least 2 to start breeding them. We'll go to a nearby house and we can find another villager there. We can get this guy into a boat and then take him back to the main house. Although it seems odd, you will still be able to row your boat on land as well as water. Back at the main house, we can build up some walls around the boat and then we can break the boat so the villager can't run off. Eventually, when both the villagers are back in the house, we can rebuild these walls. I wish I'd brought a bucket of water with me, as that can make it a lot easier to move villagers to where you want them. I'm going to place 10 beds in this house and that will allow for 1 villager for each bed. I want to place the beds up high so there's no way for the villagers to get in them. They won't need to use them so it won't affect trading or anything like that. I'm placing some ladders around so I can get around the house and get in and out. As long as you don't have the ladder at floor level, you should be okay and the villagers shouldn't be able to escape. Now that we've got our 2 adult villagers in this house, it's time to start breeding them. To do this, each villager will need 3 bread, or 12 carrots, or 12 potatoes, or 12 beetroot. Each time a baby is made, it will then remove these items from the inventory, so you're going to need lots of food to get the villagers that we need. You can see that villagers will have children pretty quickly, but it then takes 20 minutes for these guys to grow up. It's therefore a matter of waiting until we get our 10 adult villagers in here. Because we moved the villager from next door, we'll actually end up with 11 villagers in here, so I'm just going to move the extra one back to the house he came from. You don't have to do this, but I like keeping the villagers with their beds. Once we've waited a bit, our villagers are now all grown up, and it's almost time to start trading with them. We're going to head back to our main base to get the double chest worth of wood that we gathered in the last episode, and then we'll bring it over to the village. We'll also gather up a chest of sugarcane and some books too. Each villager will also need to have its own workstation. Workstations will unlock different trades. As we're mainly after mending books, we're going to need some lecterns. These can be crafted with a bookshelf and then some slabs. We'll want 3 of these so we can get Mending, Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3 books. Each time a villager's workstation is broken and replaced, it will re-roll the trades of that villager. After you've traded with the villager though, it will lock those trades in place so it won't ever change again. You can also get the villager to re-roll their trades by moving their workstation with a piston. I find this much easier than breaking and replacing the workstation each time. I've popped a couple of sticky pistons one block above each of the workstations. I've then placed wood logs next to these and redstone on top, with a button that will activate the pistons. Each time I want to re-roll the villager's trades, I can just press the button which will move their workstation. As we've got a lot of villagers in this village, some of these outside the house can link to the workstations that we've placed down. If this happens, we can go outside and place down some other workstations that they can link to instead. On Java, the villagers need to be able to access the workstation to link to it, but on Bedrock that doesn't seem to be the case. It ended up being a bit annoying having to sort out the villagers that weren't living in the house, but at the same time, as we're early game and this is just a temporary solution, it was fine for this setup. We're going to keep re-rolling the trades of our librarian villagers until we get mending at a good price. I did get a couple of rolls where it would have cost over 20 emeralds, but as you can get it for only 10, I kept re-rolling until I got a better price. Eventually I actually got it for 10 emeralds, which is awesome. We also got an efficiency 5 book for 29, which is probably one of the lowest I've seen it, and unbreaking 3 for 36, which is a little bit high, but I'm not really planning on buying many of these, so it's fine. Each time a villager got the trade we wanted, we locked in the trade by selling some paper to the librarian, so it wouldn't lose the trade if it became unlinked from the workstation. Now we've got the trades for the books we want locked in, it's time to get some emeralds, and this is where our double chest of wood comes in. Fletcher villagers will buy sticks for emeralds, and this can be the easiest way to get a lot of emeralds early game. To get the stick trade, we're going to want some fletching tables. Each table will only cost 2 flint and 4 planks of wood, so it makes them really easy to make. Fletchers will always sell sticks as their first trades, so actually you won't need to re-roll to get the right trade locked in. It will always be there and it will always cost you 32 sticks to get 1 emerald. With trading to villagers, they will only be able to trade a certain number of items before their trades lock. Once this has happened, they'll need to be able to access their workstation to reset the trades. I tend to find that you can trade until the trade locks once per day, otherwise the prices of the trade will start to increase. With the Fletchers, each stack of wood can be broken down into 4 stacks of planks and 8 stacks of sticks. As you can trade 16 times with a Fletcher before they can lock up, this will give you exactly 16 emeralds, and this will be the perfect amount that needs to be traded to a villager each day. As we brought a double chest of wood, we'll be able to get loads of emeralds like this. In total, from our double chest of wood, we can get 864 emeralds or 96 emerald blocks, which will be more than enough for the books that we need. We've also got a single chest of sugarcane that we can convert to paper and trade to the librarians for some bonus emeralds too. Once we've sold all our wood and got the emeralds, it's time to buy what we came here for. We're going to buy a load of mending books. We'll need 1 for each piece of armour, weapon or tool that we want to enchant. You'll need emeralds and unenchanted books to get your hand on the mending books. We'll also grab ourselves a couple of efficiency 5 and unbreaking books. This is to add to gear that doesn't already have it. Once we've filled up our inventory, we're going to head over to our enchanting setup, and we're going to use the anvil there to add the enchantments to our gear. There was actually so many that we needed to add that the anvil broke and we had to make a new one. Amazing. So now we've got mending on all our gear, the last thing to do is fix our gear. The way mending works is that you have to have mending on your items, and those items need to be equipped or you need to be holding them. Then each time you get XP, it can be used to mend the gear. For armour and your sword, I typically find that it stays close to full health simply by killing mobs. But for your other gear, you'll need to get the XP from somewhere else. We've got our XP furnace that we built earlier in the series, and we're going to use that. That's it for today. Within an hour or two, we've managed to add mending to all our gear and fix it so it's like new. I'd love to hear any comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and see you again next time. Bye!